Captain Lisa Martinez stood on the bridge of the Aurora's dawn and watched the stars through the main window. Her ship had been traveling through space for 3 weeks now, looking for new worlds and new friends among the aliens who lived out here. The year was 2387, and humans had been exploring deep space for over 100 years. They had met many different alien races, and most of them were friendly. Lisa was a good captain. She had been flying ships for 15 years and knew how to handle trouble. Her crew trusted her, and she trusted them. The ship was her home, and her family. Today felt different, though. Something was coming, and she could feel it in her bones. Commander Amy Foster walked up to Lisa and handed her a cup of coffee. Amy was Lisa's second-in-command and her best friend. She had been a soldier before joining the ship and knew how to fight when fighting was needed. Amy was smart and brave, and Lisa was glad to have her. "Anything new on the sensors?" Lisa asked, while drinking her coffee. "Dr. Elena Vasquez is checking the medical bay, and Kate Williams is working on the navigation charts," Amy said. "Everything is quiet out here. Too quiet if you ask me." Dr. Elena Vasquez was the ship's doctor and scientist. She studied aliens and their bodies to help them when they got sick or hurt. Elena was kind and gentle, but also very smart. She could speak 7 different alien languages and understood how many different species worked. Kate Williams was their navigator. She had a special gift for understanding space and how to travel through it. Kate could find paths through dangerous areas that other people missed. She was young but very talented, and the crew respected her skills. The ship's computer suddenly made a loud beeping sound. Kate's voice came over the speakers from the navigation room. "Captain, I'm getting something strange on the long-range sensors. There's a ship out there, but it's not like anything I've seen before." Lisa put down her coffee cup and walked to the main control panel. "Put it on the screen, Kate." The big screen in front of them showed a picture of space. Far away, they could see a small dot floating near a colorful cloud of gas and dust called a nebula. The dot was a ship, but it looked different from human ships or any of the alien ships they knew about. "How far away is it?" Lisa asked. "About 2 million kilometers," Kate answered. "The ship appears to be drifting. I don't think its engines are working." Amy moved closer to the screen. "Could be a trap. Pirates sometimes use broken ships to trick other ships into coming close." Lisa nodded. Amy was right to be careful. Space could be dangerous, and not everyone out here was friendly, but Lisa also knew that if someone really needed help, they had to try to give it. "Dr. Vasquez, please come to the bridge," Lisa said into her communicator. A few minutes later, Elena arrived. She was a small woman with dark hair and kind eyes. She looked at the screen and studied the strange ship. "I've never seen a design like that," Elena said. "The hull looks very advanced, maybe more advanced than our technology." "Any signs of life?" Lisa asked. Kate's fingers moved over her control panel. "I'm trying to scan them, but something is blocking my sensors. Wait a minute, I'm getting some readings now. There are life forms on that ship, but the signals are very weak." Lisa made her decision. "Set course for that ship. We're going to see if they need help." Amy looked worried. "Captain, we should be careful. We don't know who they are or where they came from." "I know," Lisa said. "But we can't just leave them if they're in trouble. That's not who we are." The Aurora's dawn turned toward the strange ship and began moving closer. As they got nearer, they could see more details. The ship was beautiful in a strange way. It was long and curved like a leaf and seemed to shine with its own light. The hull looked like it was made from some kind of metal they had never seen before. "Try to contact them," Lisa ordered. Kate sent out a standard greeting message in several languages, including human English and common alien trade language. They waited but got no answer. "Try again," Lisa said. Kate sent the message again. This time something happened that surprised everyone. The strange ship suddenly began to glow brighter, and then it completely disappeared. "What happened?" Lisa asked quickly. "I don't know," Kate said, her voice full of confusion. "One second it was there, and the next second it was gone. My sensors show nothing now." Amy frowned. "Ships don't just disappear like that. They must have some kind of cloaking technology." Elena was studying her readings. "I'm still getting very faint energy signatures in that area. Whatever they did to hide themselves, it takes a lot of power." Lisa thought about what this meant. A ship with advanced cloaking technology was either very friendly and very scared, or very dangerous and trying to hide something bad. Either way, she wanted to know more. Kate, take us to where the ship was. Look for any clues about who they are. As the Aurora's dawn moved closer to where the ship had been, Kate noticed something else on her sensors. Captain, there's debris floating around here, pieces of metal and other materials. It looks like there was a battle here recently. How recently? Lisa asked. Based on the radiation signatures, maybe a few days ago, there are pieces from at least 3 different types of ships. Amy was looking at the tactical display. Captain, if there was a battle here, whoever won might still be around. We should be ready for trouble. Lisa nodded. She trusted Amy's military experience. Raise the shields and prepare the weapons, but don't power them up all the way. I don't want to look aggressive if there are friendly ships nearby. Elena was scanning the debris with her equipment. I'm detecting traces of organic material in some of these pieces. There were definitely living beings on these ships when they were destroyed. The thought made everyone on the bridge feel sad and worried. Somewhere out here, people had died in a battle. The question was who had killed them and why. Kate suddenly looked up from her controls with fear in her eyes. Captain, I'm detecting multiple large ships approaching our position. They're big and they're coming fast. Lisa felt her heart start beating faster. How big and how many? At least 6 ships, each one 3 times the size of ours. They'll be here in less than 5 minutes. Amy was already moving to the weapons. Controls. Should I power up the weapons? Lisa had to make a quick decision. If these were the ships that had won the recent battle, they might be hostile. But if they were friendly ships coming to investigate the same debris field, attacking, them would be a big mistake. Not yet, Lisa said. But be ready. Kate, can you tell what kind of ships they are? The computer doesn't recognize the design. They're not human ships and they're not like any of the alien ships in our database. Elena looked worried. Captain, what if these are the ships that destroyed the others? What if they're coming for us now? Before Lisa could answer, Kate's voice became urgent. Captain, the ships are decloaking right around us. We're surrounded. 6 massive warships appeared around the Aurora's dawn like predators surrounding their prey. Each ship was dark gray and covered with weapons. They looked like they were built for war and nothing else. Lisa had never seen ships so large or so threatening. Incoming transmission, Kate announced, her voice shaking slightly. Put it on screen, Lisa ordered. The main screen filled with the image of an alien woman. She had pale blue skin and white hair that seemed to glow. Her eyes were cold and cruel. She wore a black uniform with silver decorations that showed she was important. Behind her, Lisa could see other aliens working at control stations. I am Admiral Zareth Vex of the Valdrian Imperial Fleet, the woman said in perfect human English. You will surrender all sensor data regarding the vessel you encountered in this area. You will do this now or face the consequences. Lisa stepped forward so the alien could see her clearly. I am Captain Lisa Martinez of the human exploration ship Aurora's Dawn. We are on a peaceful mission. We detected a ship in distress and came to offer assistance. Admiral Vex smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. Humans, we have heard of your species. You are expanding into space and making contact with other races. This could be problematic for our plans. Amy moved closer to Lisa and whispered. She's talking like she owns this part of space. Lisa kept her voice calm and diplomatic. We don't want any trouble. We're just explorers looking for new friends among the stars. If we've entered your territory by mistake, we apologize. Territory? Admiral Vex laughed. Soon all of this galaxy will be Valdrian territory. Your human colonies and your alien friends will serve the Empire or be destroyed. Elena gasped. Dr. Vasquez had studied many alien cultures, and she recognized the signs of a conquering empire. These Valdrians were not explorers or traders. They were invaders. The vessel you detected contains criminals and rebels who stole Imperial property, Admiral Vex continued. They are enemies of the Empire and must be captured. Give us your sensor data so we can track them down. Lisa felt angry but tried not to show it. If people are running from you, maybe they have a good reason. We don't help bullies catch the people they're trying to hurt. Admiral Vex's face became darker. Careful, human. You are one small ship against 6 of our warships. Do not test our patience. Before Lisa could respond, something unexpected happened. The space around them began to shimmer, and the mysterious ship from before appeared again. But this time it wasn't alone. Several smaller ships appeared with it, all using The same advanced cloaking technology. Kate looked at her sensors in amazement. Captain, there are 12 ships out there now, and they're all powering up weapons. A new voice came over the communication system. This voice was musical and gentle, completely different from Admiral Vex's harsh tone. Human vessel, this is Serial Moon Whisper of the free ship Starlight Haven. We apologize for the deception earlier, but we had to be sure you were not working with the Empire. Please follow our lead and we will get you to safety. Lisa looked at Amy, who nodded. Sometimes you had to choose sides quickly in space, and Admiral Vex had made it clear which side the Valdrians were on. We're with you, Lisa said to Serial. What do you need us to do? Admiral Vex's voice became a shout. Traitors and criminals! You will all be destroyed for this betrayal! The Valdrian ships began firing their weapons. Bright beams of energy shot through space toward the Aurora's dawn and the mysterious ships. But something amazing happened. The smaller ships moved in, ways that seemed impossible, dodging the attacks like dancers avoiding raindrops. Follow the ship with the blue lights on the hull, Serial's voice said calmly. Match their movements exactly. Kate's hands flew over her controls as she tried to copy the movements of the lead ship. The Aurora's dawn twisted and turned through space in patterns that should have been impossible for a ship its size. Somehow, Kate was able to keep up with the advanced alien vessels. Amy was watching the tactical display. Captain, those smaller ships are using some kind of technology I've never seen before. They're bending space around themselves. Elena was studying her instruments. The energy signatures are incredible. It's like they're using a combination of advanced science and something else, something that doesn't show up on our sensors. The battle continued as both groups of ships raced toward a nearby asteroid field. The Valdrian warships were powerful, but they were also slow and clumsy compared to the smaller vessels. However, they had much stronger weapons and armor. One of the mysterious ships took a direct hit from a Valdrian energy beam and began spinning out of control. Lisa watched as the damaged ship tried to keep flying but started falling behind the group. Kate, can we help that damaged ship? Lisa asked. I think so, but it will be dangerous, Kate replied. Do it, Lisa ordered. The Aurora's dawn turned toward the damaged ship just as a Valdrian warship was lining up for another attack. Amy quickly powered up their weapons and fired at the Valdrian ship, hitting it in the side. The attack didn't do much damage, but it distracted the enemy long enough for the Aurora's dawn to reach the damaged vessel. This is Commander Amy Foster, Amy said over the communications. We're going to give you cover while you make repairs. Thank you, humans, came a reply in accented English. I am Lyrian Starweaver. Your help is most appreciated. As they protected the damaged ship, Lisa got her first good look at the beings they were helping. Through the windows of the other vessel, she could see tall, graceful figures with pointed ears and long hair. They looked like the elves from old human fairy tales, but they were real and they were clearly very advanced. Elena, are you seeing this? Lisa asked. Incredible, Elena whispered. They appear to be a completely unknown species. Their technology is amazing. The asteroid field was getting closer, and Lisa could see that it would provide good cover from the Valdrian ships. But getting there safely would require perfect timing and cooperation. All ships, this is Captain Martinez, Lisa announced. We need to work together if we're going to escape these Valdrians. Serial's voice came back over the radio. Agreed, Captain. Your people fly well for a species so new to deep space. Follow us into the asteroids, and we will find a safe place to talk. The group of ships dove into the asteroid field, with the Valdrian warships close behind. The space rocks were huge and floating in all directions. It was like flying through a deadly maze at high speed. Kate's special talent for navigation was put to the test as she guided the Aurora's dawn between massive asteroids while following the elven ships. Behind them, the larger Valdrian vessels were having trouble. Their ships were too big to easily maneuver through the tight spaces. Captain, Amy reported, the Valdrian ships are falling behind. I don't think they want to risk their big ships in this asteroid field. Lisa felt some relief, but she knew this was just the beginning. Kate, how are we doing on following our new friends? Good so far, Captain. They seem to know exactly where they're going. Deep in the asteroid field, the group of ships found a hollow space surrounded by large rocks. It was like a hidden cave in space where they could stop and talk without being detected. Serial's ship moved close to the Aurora's dawn, and Lisa could see the elf woman through her ship's window. She was beautiful in an otherworldly way, with silver hair and bright green eyes. When she spoke, her voice was filled with both sadness and hope. "Captain Martinez, we owe you and your crew a great debt. You risked your lives to help strangers, and stood against the Empire when you could have stayed neutral." "We couldn't just watch bullies attack innocent people," Lisa replied. "That's not who humans are, but I have a lot of questions about what just happened." "And we have answers," Serial said. "But first, let me introduce you to someone else who wants to meet you." Another voice came over the communications, this one deeper and more mechanical. "Greetings, humans. I am Kesatra of the Nexari people. We are grateful for your assistance." Lisa looked at Amy and Elena with amazement. In one day, they had met two completely new alien species and gotten involved in what seemed to be a galactic war. "Serial, what is the Valdrian Empire and why are they chasing you?" Lisa asked. There was a long pause before Serial answered, and, when she did, her voice was filled with pain. "The Valdrians are conquerors, Captain Martinez. They have destroyed dozens of worlds and enslaved countless species. We are refugees from the latest planets they attacked. Our worlds are gone, and our people are scattered across the galaxy." Elena spoke up from her station. "How many of you are there? Do you need medical assistance?" "We have wounded aboard our ships," Serial admitted. "And yes, there are many of us spread across different vessels. We've been running and hiding for months." Amy was studying the tactical situation. "Captain, if the Valdrians are as powerful as they seem, why haven't they conquered everything already?" Kesatra answered this question. "Because there are others who resist. Many species fight back. But we are not organized and the Empire grows stronger every day. They have weapons and ships that most of us cannot match." Lisa felt the weight of the situation settling on her shoulders. Her ship and crew had stumbled into something much bigger than a simple first contact situation. This was about the freedom of entire civilizations. "What do you need from us?" Lisa asked. The medical bay of the Aurora's dawn had never been so busy. Dr. Elena Vasquez worked alongside alien healers as they treated wounded refugees from a dozen different species. Some looked almost human, while others were completely unlike anything she had ever seen before. Serial Moonwhisper sat on one of the medical beds while Elena examined a burn on her arm. The elf woman was even more beautiful up close, with skin that seemed to glow softly and eyes that held wisdom far beyond her years. "Your healing techniques are very good," Serial said as Elena applied a bandage. "Most humans we have heard about are still learning basic medicine for their own species." "We've had some practice with alien biology," Elena replied, "but I've never seen injuries like these before. What kind of weapons do the Valdrians use?" "Energy weapons that burn both flesh and spirit," Serial explained sadly. "They are designed to cause maximum pain and leave permanent scars as a warning to others." Across the room, Kate Williams was working with Lyrian Starweaver to understand the Elven navigation systems. Lyrian was teaching her how their ships could move through space in ways that seemed to bend the laws of physics. "It is not just technology," Lyrian explained patiently. "We combine our machines with what you might call magic, though we simply see it as another form of science. Our people have always been connected to the forces that flow through space." Reu was fascinated. "So when you navigate, you're not just using computers and sensors?" "Correct. We feel the currents of space-time and use them to guide our ships. It allows us to move faster and more smoothly than ships that rely only on mechanical systems." In the main meeting room, Captain Lisa Martinez sat around a table with representatives from several refugee species. Besides Serial, there was Kesatra, whose rock-like Nexari body gleamed under the lights, and a new arrival named Zephyra, who looked like she was made of living crystal. Zephyra spoke in a voice that sounded like wind chimes. "Captain Martinez, we represent the last free survivors of 12 different worlds. The Valdrian Empire has been expanding for over 50 years, and they show no signs of stopping." Lisa felt overwhelmed by the responsibility that was falling on her shoulders. "I'm just one ship captain. My government doesn't even know where we are right now." "But you represent hope," Serial said gently. "Humans are new to deep space, but you have something the Empire fears. You are unpredictable and you refuse to give up when things get difficult." Commander Amy Foster entered the room, carrying a data pad with new information. Captain, I've been analyzing the Valdrian ships we encountered. Their technology is advanced, but it's also very rigid. They seem to follow exact patterns and don't adapt well to unexpected tactics. Kesistra's rocky features shifted in what might have been a smile. Your commander sees clearly. The Valdrians are powerful, but they think in straight lines. They expect others to flee or surrender when faced with superior force. What happens when people don't surrender? Lisa asked, though she suspected she already knew the answer. Complete destruction, Zephyra replied, her crystal body dimming slightly. They turn entire planets into lifeless rocks as examples to others. Billions of innocent people have died. The weight of this information settled heavily on everyone in the room. Lisa had known that space could be dangerous, but she had never imagined anything this horrible. There has to be some way to fight back, Amy said. No empire can be completely invincible. Cyril nodded. There are others who resist. Hidden bases in forgotten systems, communication networks that the Empire cannot detect, and species who refuse to bow down to tyranny. But we have been fighting separately, and that makes us weak. What would make you strong? Lisa asked. Unity, Kesitra replied immediately. If all the free species worked together, shared their technologies and knowledge, we could stand against the Empire. But trust is difficult when survival depends on staying hidden. Elena's voice came over the ship's communication system. Captain, you should come to the medical bay. There's something here you need to see. Lisa and Amy hurried to the medical bay where Elena was standing next to a young refugee who looked barely old enough to be an adult. The girl was from a species Lisa had never seen before, with blue-green skin and large golden eyes. Captain, this is Nira, Elena said. She was a communications officer on one of the destroyed ships. Tell the captain what you told me, Nira. The girl looked nervous, but spoke in clear English. I was monitoring Imperial communications when they attacked our convoy. I heard them talking about something called the Core Worlds Operation. What is that? Amy asked. The Empire is planning a massive attack on a group of peaceful planets that recently formed a defensive alliance. The attack is supposed to happen in 3 weeks. Lisa felt her blood turn cold. How many planets? 17 worlds, including some of your human colonies, Nira said quietly. The room became very quiet as everyone absorbed this information. The Valdrian Empire wasn't just expanding randomly. They had a specific plan to destroy the alliance of peaceful species before it could become strong enough to resist them. We have to warn them, Lisa said immediately. With what proof? Amy asked practically. We're one human ship with a group of refugees. Who's going to believe us? Cyril had been listening quietly, but now she spoke up. There might be a way. The Resistance has been trying to make contact with the Core Worlds Alliance for months. If we could get proof of the Imperial plans, they would have to listen. What kind of proof? Lisa asked. Zephyra's crystal body began to glow brighter. Imperial command codes, attack plans, fleet positions, information that could only come from inside their military structure. Kesitra made a grinding sound that might have been laughter. And how exactly do we get inside the most heavily guarded military in the galaxy? We don't break in, Amy said thoughtfully. We make them come to us. Everyone turned to look at her. Amy was studying a tactical display that showed the local star systems. The Valdrians are looking for you refugees, right? They think you have something valuable or dangerous. What if we let them think they've found you? Cyril's eyes widened with understanding. A trap. We make them think we are weak and desperate, and when they come to capture us, we capture their ship instead. It's incredibly dangerous, Lisa pointed out. If it doesn't work perfectly, we'll all be killed or worse. If we do nothing, billions of innocent people will die in 3 weeks, Elena said firmly. We have to try. Kate's voice came over the intercom from the navigation station. Captain, I'm detecting another ship approaching our position. It's small and fast, using some kind of stealth technology. Valdrian? Amy asked, reaching for her weapon. No, Kate replied. The energy signature is different. It's transmitting human identification codes. Lisa felt a surge of hope mixed with worry. Another human ship could be exactly what they needed, or it could be a complication they couldn't afford. Put them on screen, Lisa ordered. The main display. showed a sleek cargo vessel that Lisa recognized as a long-range transport ship. These ships were used by human traders and explorers who worked far from Earth. Aurora's Dawn. This is Captain Ruby Chen of the cargo ship Stellar Wanderer. We picked up your distress signal and came to investigate. Are you in need of assistance? Lisa looked around the room at her new alien allies. Ruby Chen might be exactly the help they needed, or bringing another human into this situation might put them in even more danger. Ruby, this is Lisa Martinez. We're not exactly in distress, but we are in a very complicated situation. Can you meet us at these coordinates for a private conversation? Of course, Lisa. I know you from the Explorers Guild. If you're calling for help, it must be serious. As Ruby's ship moved closer to their hiding spot in the asteroid field, Serial placed a gentle hand on Lisa's shoulder. Your species continues to surprise us, Captain. Most races would have fled after encountering the Imperial fleet. Instead, you stay to help strangers, and now another of your people comes to help you. Humans don't abandon their friends, Lisa replied. And anyone fighting against bullies and murderers is a friend of ours. Within an hour, Captain Ruby Chen was sitting at their meeting table. Ruby was a tough-looking woman with short black hair and the weathered hands of someone who had spent years in space. She listened carefully as Lisa explained everything that had happened. So let me get this straight, Ruby said finally. There's an evil empire trying to conquer the galaxy. You've rescued a group of refugees, and now you want to steal Imperial military secrets to warn the core worlds about a surprise attack. That's about right, Lisa admitted. Ruby was quiet for a long moment. Then she started to laugh. Lisa, you always did have a talent for finding trouble, but this time you've really outdone yourself. So you think we're crazy? Amy asked. Oh, you're definitely crazy, Ruby replied with a grin. But you're also right. I've been hearing rumors about disappearing colonies and destroyed trade routes. If there really is an empire out there doing this, then somebody needs to stop them. Serial leaned forward. Does this mean you will help us? Ruby looked around the table at the group of humans and aliens who were planning to take on one of the most powerful military forces in the galaxy. The secret base was hidden inside a hollow asteroid that looked like nothing special from the outside. But inside, it was buzzing with activity as ships from dozens of different species worked together to prepare for the most dangerous mission any of them had ever attempted. Captain Lisa Martinez stood in the main command center watching as her new allies planned their attack on a Valdrian supply depot. The depot was heavily guarded, but it contained the command codes they needed to prove the Empire's plans to attack the core worlds. Kate Williams was working with Lyrian Starweaver to plot the safest route to the target. Their combined human and elven navigation skills had become legendary among the resistance fighters in just 2 weeks. The depot is here. Kate pointed to a spot on the star map. It's only lightly defended because the Valdrians think it's too far from any resistance activity to be threatened. Lyrian nodded, her silver hair catching the light from the displays. My ship and yours can approach using our stealth systems. The combination of human engineering and elven space bending should make us invisible to their sensors. Commander Amy Foster was studying the tactical information with several alien military experts. The problem isn't getting in, Amy said. The problem is getting out with the information before they can call for reinforcements. Serial Moon Whisper joined the discussion. That's where our friends come in. She gestured to a group of beings that Lisa was still getting used to seeing. Some looked like walking trees, others resembled large insects, and a few seemed to be made of pure energy. Dr. Elena Vasquez had spent the last 2 weeks learning how to communicate with and treat dozens of different alien species. She had also been working on something special with the Resistance's best scientists. Elena, how is the special project coming along? Lisa asked. Elena smiled and held up a small device that looked like a combination of human electronics and alien crystal technology. It's finished. This communicator can send messages across the galaxy instantly using a combination of quantum physics and what Serial calls space song. The Valdrians won't be able to detect or block it. Excellent, Lisa said. Ruby, how are our supply lines looking? Captain Ruby Chen had become the Resistance's unofficial quartermaster, using her knowledge of space trade routes to keep everyone supplied. Good news and bad news, Ruby reported. The good news is that we have enough fuel and food for the mission. The bad news is that I'm hearing rumors about increased Valdrian patrols in the border systems. Kesatra, the rock-like Nexari, made a grinding sound that Lisa had learned meant concern. The Empire knows something is happening. They may not know exactly what, but they are becoming more careful. Zephara's crystal body flickered with worried colors. We have another problem. One of our communication networks has gone silent. 3 resistance cells have stopped reporting in. The room became quiet as everyone absorbed this bad news. Lisa felt the weight of leadership pressing down on her. In just a few weeks, she had gone from being an exploration captain to helping lead a galactic resistance movement. We can't wait any longer, Lisa decided. If the Valdrians are cracking down on the resistance, we need to get that information about their attack plans before it's too late. Amy nodded in agreement. I'll take a small team to the supply depot. Kate and Lyrian can get us in and out quickly. I'm coming with you, Lisa said immediately. Captain, you should stay here to coordinate the larger operation, Amy argued. Amy, you're my second in command and my best friend. I'm not sending you into danger alone. Serial stepped forward. If I may suggest, both of you should go. This mission is too important to fail because of a lack of leadership. I will coordinate things here while you are gone. Lisa looked around the room at all the different species who were depending on this mission to succeed. All right. Amy, Kate, Lyrian, and I will go to the depot. Everyone else, keep preparing for the main operation. As the meeting broke up, Elena pulled Lisa aside. Be careful out there. We've learned a lot about Valdrian technology, and it's more dangerous than we first thought. Their weapons don't just kill, they're designed to cause maximum suffering. I'll be careful, Lisa promised. Keep working on those medical preparations. We're going to need them. The next morning, 2 ships left the hidden asteroid base using advanced stealth systems. The Aurora's Dawn and Serial's ship Starlight Haven moved through space like ghosts, invisible to normal sensors. Kate was amazed at how well the human and elven technologies worked together. It's like our navigation computers and their space-bending abilities were meant to be combined. Lyrian was equally impressed. Your people's willingness to adapt and learn new things is remarkable. Most species are set in their ways and refuse to change. The journey to the Valdrian supply depot took 6 hours. As they got closer, they could see that the facility was larger than expected. It wasn't just a supply depot, it was a major military base with dozens of ships and thousands of personnel. This is going to be much more difficult than we planned, Amy observed, studying the sensor readings. Lisa felt worried, but tried not to show it. Can we still get in without being detected? Yes, Lyrian replied confidently. But getting out will require perfect timing and a lot of luck. They approached the base carefully, using every stealth trick that human and elven technology could provide. The combination of cloaking systems made them completely invisible to the Valdrian sensors. Kate guided their ships to a docking bay that appeared to be used for maintenance. There's an empty bay where we can land without being seen. As they prepared to board the enemy base, Lisa realized this was the most dangerous thing she had ever done. If they were caught, it wouldn't just mean their own deaths. The entire resistance depended on the information they were trying to steal. Remember, Amy said as they put on their disguises, we're maintenance workers doing routine repairs. Don't talk unless you have to, and let me do the talking if we meet anyone. The disguises were amazing. Using technology provided by a shape-shifting species called the Mimari, they looked exactly like Valdrian maintenance personnel. Even their skin had been temporarily changed to the pale blue color of the enemy species. Inside the base, Lisa was shocked by what she saw. The corridors were filled with weapons and equipment designed for conquering planets. Worse, she could see holding areas where captured aliens were being kept as slaves. We have to help them, Elena whispered when she saw the prisoners. We can't, Amy replied firmly. If we try to rescue them now, we'll blow our cover and fail the mission. The best way to help them is to succeed in stopping the Empire. It hurt Lisa's heart to walk past the prisoners, but she knew Amy was right. They had to focus on their mission. The computer center was heavily guarded, but their disguises worked perfectly. Valdrian soldiers barely looked at them as they entered the restricted area. Kate and Lyrian worked together to access the military computer systems. Their combined human hacking skills and elven technology quickly broke through the security systems. I'm in, Kate whispered. Downloading the attack plans now. Lisa kept watch while the download continued. Through the computer files, she could see the full scope of the Valdrian Empire's evil plans. They weren't just planning to attack the core worlds. They were planning to enslave or destroy every free species in the galaxy. Download complete, Kate announced. We have everything we need. But as they prepared to leave, alarms suddenly started blaring throughout the base. Red lights flashed and Valdrian voices shouted orders over the communication system. What's happening? Lisa asked. Lyrian looked at a wall display that showed the base's status. They've detected unauthorized access to the computer systems. The entire base is going into lockdown. Heavy blast doors began slamming shut throughout the facility, trapping them inside. Lisa realized their perfect infiltration had just become a desperate escape mission. Amy, any ideas? Lisa asked. Amy was studying the base layout on a portable scanner. There's an emergency escape tunnel that leads to the outside of the base, but it's on the other side of the facility. Then that's where we're going, Lisa decided. They began moving through the base as quickly as possible while trying to avoid the search teams that were looking for intruders. The Valdrian soldiers were efficient and systematic, checking every room and corridor. Halfway to the escape tunnel, they ran into a squad of enemy soldiers. Lisa held her breath as the squad leader looked directly at them. You four, what are you doing in this section? The soldier demanded. Amy stepped forward, speaking in perfect Valdrian language. Emergency maintenance on the power conduits. We were ordered to check all systems after the security alert. The soldier looked suspicious but nodded. Complete your work quickly and report to your supervisor. As the squad moved away, Lisa realized she had been holding her breath. How did you learn to speak their language so well? Elena's been teaching me, Amy replied. Turns out I have a talent for alien languages. They finally reached the escape tunnel, but found it was sealed with a heavy security door that required special authorization to open. Can you hack it? Lisa asked Kate. Not from here, Kate replied. I would need direct access to the base's main computer core. Admiral Zareth Vex stood on the bridge of her flagship and watched as her massive fleet prepared to attack the core worlds. 300 warships floated in space like deadly predators ready to strike. The attack was happening 3 days early, because the rebels had stolen their plans, but Vex was confident that surprise would still be on their side. Begin the assault, she commanded coldly. Far across the galaxy, Captain Lisa Martinez received the emergency transmission on the bridge of the Aurora's Dawn. The message was brief but terrifying. Valdrian fleet attacking core worlds. Massive casualties. Send help immediately. Lisa felt her heart sink. Despite all their efforts to warn the core worlds about the Imperial attack, they had been too late. The enemy had moved faster than anyone expected. Kate, how long to reach the core? Worlds? Lisa asked urgently. Kate Williams worked frantically at her navigation controls. 8 hours at maximum speed, but our ship alone won't make any difference against a fleet that size. Commander Amy Foster was already coordinating with their allies. The Resistance ships are gathering at Rally Point 7. We'll have about 40 ships total, but the Valdrians have 10 times that number. Dr. Elena Vasquez came onto the bridge carrying the special communicator she had built. Lisa, I'm getting reports from other Resistance cells. They're all asking the same question. Do we run and hide, or do we fight and probably die? Lisa looked around at her crew and thought about all the innocent people who were being killed while she stood there. The smart thing would be to retreat and preserve their forces for another day. But sometimes being smart wasn't the same as being right. We fight, Lisa decided. Send a message to all Resistance ships. We're going to hit the Valdrian fleet with everything we have. Serial Moonwhisper's voice came over the communicator from her ship. Captain Martinez, even combined, our forces are too small to defeat the Imperial fleet in direct combat. Then, we don't fight them directly, Amy said, understanding Lisa's thinking. We use human tactics. We be unpredictable. Within 6 hours, the largest Resistance fleet ever assembled was racing toward the core worlds. 40 ships from a dozen different species, all united by their hatred of the Valdrian Empire and their determination to protect innocent people. Lisa stood in the command center of the flagship, surrounded by holographic displays showing the tactical situation. The news was bad and getting worse. 3 core world planets had already fallen, and the Valdrian fleet was moving toward the most heavily populated systems. Ruby, how are our supplies? Lisa asked Captain Ruby Chen, who had become their logistics coordinator. "We have enough fuel and ammunition for one major battle," Ruby replied grimly. "After that, we're running on empty." Kesitra, the rock-like Nexari, was studying intelligence reports from the battle zone. "The Imperial fleet is strong but spread out. They are attacking multiple targets simultaneously to prevent the core worlds from concentrating their defenses." Zephara's crystal body was flickering with calculations. "If we could disrupt their command and control systems, their fleet coordination would collapse. But their command ship is in the center of their formation, protected by dozens of escorts." Lyrian, Starweaver, had been quiet during the planning session, but now she spoke up. "There might be another way. The Valdrians rely heavily on their central communication hub for fleet coordination. If we could destroy that hub, their ships would lose the ability to work together effectively." "Where is this communication hub?" Lisa asked. "According to the stolen intelligence, it's located in a fortified asteroid base 3 systems away from the main battle," Lyrian explained. "It's heavily defended, but not impossible to reach." Amy was already thinking tactically. "If we split our forces, we could hit the communication hub while the core world's fleet keeps the main Valdrian force busy." "That's incredibly risky," Elena pointed out. "If either attack fails, we lose everything." Lisa studied the tactical displays and realized they were facing an impossible choice. A direct assault on the Valdrian fleet would fail because they were outnumbered, but splitting their already small force would make both missions extremely dangerous. "We're going to do both," Lisa announced, "but we're going to do it the human way." Everyone looked at her with confusion and hope. "Kate, Lyrian, and I will take a small stealth team to hit the communication hub. Amy will lead the main resistance fleet in support of the core world's defense. We hit both targets simultaneously." Serial nodded slowly. "A coordinated attack. It could work, but the timing will have to be perfect." "It will be," Lisa said with more confidence than she felt. As the resistance fleet approached the battle zone, they could see the devastation that the Valdrian Empire had already caused. Entire space stations were burning, and debris from destroyed ships filled the space around several planets. "Core World's Defense Fleet, this is Captain Lisa Martinez of the Galactic Liberation Coalition," Lisa announced on an open frequency. "We're here to help." The response came from Admiral Sarah Johnson of the Core World's Navy. "Captain Martinez, we're grateful for any assistance you can provide. The enemy fleet is overwhelming our defenses." "Admiral, we need your ships to concentrate on the main Valdrian force for exactly 1 hour. Can you do that?" "We'll try, but I can't promise we'll last that long." Lisa turned to her team. "Kate, Lyrian, it's time to go. Elena, I need you to coordinate medical support for the battle. Ruby, keep our supply lines open as long as possible." The stealth mission team consisted of just 3 ships: the Aurora's Dawn, Serial's Starlight Haven, and a fast attack ship, crewed by volunteers from multiple species. It was a tiny force to attack such an important target, but it was also small enough to slip past the enemy defenses undetected. The journey to the communication hub took 2 hours through dangerous space filled with Valdrian patrol ships. Kate and Lyrian worked together to navigate through the enemy formations using a combination of human cunning and elven space-bending techniques. When they finally reached the asteroid base that housed the communication hub, Lisa was amazed by its size and defenses. The artificial asteroid was covered with weapons and surrounded by a fleet of guard ships. "How are we supposed to get through all that?" one of the volunteer pilots asked over the radio. "The same way humans have always solved impossible problems," Lisa replied. "We improvise." Kate had been studying the base's defenses and noticed something interesting. "Captain, the base has a blind spot in its sensor coverage. If we approach from the asteroid's shadow side and match our speed exactly to its rotation, we might be able to get close without being detected." "That's incredibly dangerous," Lyrian observed. "One small mistake and we'll crash into the asteroid or be detected by the sensors." "Then we won't make any mistakes," Lisa said simply. The 3 ships began their careful approach to the massive asteroid base. Kate's navigation skills were pushed to their absolute limit as she guided them through the narrow gap in the sensor coverage while matching the rotation of the asteroid perfectly. They made it to the base's surface and found an emergency airlock. that appeared to be unguarded, but as they prepared to enter the base, their stealth approach was discovered by a routine patrol. "Intruder alert," came the announcement over the base's communication system. "All security teams to emergency stations." "So much for the stealthy approach," Amy's voice came over the radio from the main battle. "Lisa, you better hurry. The core world's fleet is taking heavy casualties." Inside the asteroid base, Lisa's team fought their way through corridors filled with Valdrian soldiers. The resistance fighters used every trick they had learned: human unpredictability, elven space bending, and alien technologies that the Empire had never encountered before. They finally reached the central communication hub, a massive chamber filled with computers and transmission equipment. But standing between them and their target was Admiral Zarath Vex herself, along with her personal guard. "So the human rebels finally show themselves," Vex said with cold amusement. "You have caused the Empire considerable inconvenience, but your interference ends here." Lisa stepped forward, her weapon ready but not yet aimed at the Admiral. "Your Empire's reign of terror ends here. Too many innocent people have died because of your greed and cruelty." "Innocent?" Vex laughed harshly. "There are no innocents in this galaxy, only the strong and the weak. The Valdrian Empire brings order to chaos." "You bring slavery and death," Cyril said, her voice filled with pain and anger. "You destroyed my world and killed my family." "And I would do it again," Vex replied without emotion. "Weakness must be eliminated." The battle that followed was fierce, but brief. Lisa's team fought with the desperation of people who knew that billions of lives depended on their success. When the fighting was over, Admiral Vex lay defeated and the communication hub was in their hands. "Kate, can you shut down their communication systems?" Lisa asked. Kate was already working at the control panels. "Give me 2 minutes." But even as Kate worked to disable the hub, they could hear Valdrian reinforcements approaching. They were running out of time. "There," Kate announced. "The hub is down. The Valdrian fleet has lost coordination." "Now we get out of here," Lisa ordered.